Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive. Okay, so today we're getting into something that sounds, well, maybe simple on the surface, the fourth plague.
Yeah.
But the source we're using, excerpts from the fourth plague, flies in Egypt. It shows this incredible depth. We're really looking beyond just, bugs. We want to unpack what this tells us about power, about protection, even human will. How can flies, of all things, reveal so much? All right, let's get into it because these weren't just harmless houseflies. Life in Egypt was about to get, well, pretty unbearable.
Yeah, that's right. The source is very clear. These weren't your average flies. It describes them as uh, biting, painful flies. They filled homes. They were all over the ground. They basically ruined the land.
Hmm.
I mean, just try to imagine that for a second. The sheer misery. It's not just annoying. It's this constant physical assault. You can't escape it. Food's contaminated. You can't sleep. Just agony moment to moment. It's like ecology itself being turned into a weapon, making life impossible.
Wow. But the thing that really jumps out from the material, for me at least, is the precision you mentioned. It wasn't everywhere, was it? The source says Goshen, where the Israelites were, was totally spared, like a clear line.
Exactly. Not one fly, apparently.
So what does that tell us, that separation, beyond just, oh, they were protected?
Well, it's more than just showing power like brute force. It demonstrates this incredibly surgical control. It's showing a divine ability to set absolute boundaries and, crucially, enforce them. That's almost more unsettling, than just widespread destruction. It made it impossible to argue this was like weird weather or just bad luck.
Right. Too specific.
Way too specific. It was clearly a direct, targeted action, a statement about who's in charge, drawing a line nothing else could cross.
And speaking of control, what about the Egyptian magicians? The
Oh,
source notes they're completely silent here. They tried with the earlier plagues, right? Even admitted defeat by the third one, saying this is the finger of God, but now, nothing. What's that about?
their silence.
Yeah, Cirque's volume
It says it's
test.
basically them admitting complete defeat, total impotence. Their tricks failed before. They couldn't even stand before hoses by then. But with the flies, it seems they didn't even attempt anything, which just highlights that whatever power they had, or their god supposedly had, was just useless against this kind of precise chaos. It reinforces that message of, an exclusive power-controlling nature making all other claims, well, irrelevant.
Okay, so you have this absolute torment across Egypt. Flies everywhere, even in Pharaoh's own palace. You have his own expert basically throwing up their hands. And yet, Pharaoh, he still digs in his heels. The source says he refused to let the Israelites go. What does that tell us? That kind of stubbornness against overwhelming proof?
Yeah, that defiance it's fascinating. It's not just being stubborn, is it? It points to something deeper, maybe that human tendency for denial, or maybe it's political. Can't show weakness even when everything's falling apart. It shifts it from just a God versus God thing to something really psychological. Free will versus, undeniable truth right in your face. The source suggests the pressure just kept building, but even this undeniable specific plague didn't automatically break his will. It shows the choice. Even the choice to stick to a destructive path is incredibly powerful.
So summing this up a bit, the fourth plague, it seems simple flies, but wow. It really shows power in a unique way. Not just judgment, but that incredibly precise, careful protection, shielding one group right in the middle of chaos.
Yeah, that distinction between Egypt and Goshen is so stark. It's not just geography. It's like a visible sign of divine awareness, setting clear boundaries.
And the magicians just being completely sidelined.
Right, they're gods too. It hammers home who is actually in control. And what's really interesting is that layered message, yes, cosmic power, definitely, but also the specific example of divine favor, protection, drawing lines between people. It really asks you to think about the implications of that kind of precision, a power that can hit this area but leave that one completely untouched.
So thinking about what this all means for you, listening, maybe consider how these details, even seemingly small ones like flies in an ancient story, can carry these huge messages. Messages about power, sure, but also protection and maybe most strangely, that stubbornness of human choice. Even when the evidence is literally swarming all around you, it kind of makes you pause and think, doesn't it? Where do your own lines of control really end? And what forces might operate beyond them?